in the election season, news breaks so fast we can't keep up with it. And, we've got to talk about Trump on Joe Rogan. Okay?
3 hours worth.
3 hours of a flight of ideas. And these are some of my favorite clips. Kylie, play clip 1.
I don't believe it's this much, but it doesn't have to. I lost by I didn't lose, but they say I lost, Joe, they say I lost by 22,000 votes.
I lost. I won. I lost.
It's just, can you imagine that you're serving time in prison for beating up a cop and taking a shit in the Capitol,
right,
because you genuinely believed that this race was being stolen? And to know that Rudy Giuliani and that Kraken lawyer and all of these buffoons, they know they lost. They know that our elections have integrity. They know the truth. And that he gets on there and just flippantly says, I lost. Oh, whoops, I won.
It's really, when you look at it, these people, they came to the Capitol, and he always says, well, they were mad about the election. It's because you lied to them about the election. That's why they were mad. And you have had zero accountability.
That's a great point.
And their lives are ruined.
Yeah.
So it's like, this is a person that doesn't give a flying frog's fat ass about what happens to you, as long as he feels better about himself, because he can't face the fact that he's a loser.
Right. The fact that he didn't concede brought all of them there.
That's right.
That he wasn't, you see athletes that play these, matches or games, and at the end of it, they shake hands. This guy is such a titty baby, such a petulant, immature, malignant narcissist. I mean, he's just disgusting. And everybody will just lose their minds over him.
Mm-hmm.
It's wild. Okay, here is on the same interview with Rogan. Here's what Trump says about dictators.
Well, I also
we're dealing with the smartest people. They hate when I say, when I call President Xi, they said, he called President Xi brilliant. Well, he's a brilliant guy. He controls 1.4 billion people with an iron fist. I mean, he's a brilliant guy, whether you like it or not. And they go crazy.
Right. It doesn't mean he's not evil, or it doesn't mean he's not
of course not.
dangerous.
But actually, we have evil people in our country.
Yes.
If you have a smart president, he can deal with Russia. He can deal with all of it. Russia would have never gone into Ukraine if I were president.
So, I mean, this tells people exactly what his intentions are. He says it over and over and over. When he ran in 2016, he said he was going to pick Supreme Court justices to overturn Roe. White people didn't believe him, particularly white women didn't believe it would ever happen, and it happened. He's telling everybody that he wants to be like Xi, that he wants to be like Vladimir Putin. And here's why. Because he wants to be rich and he wants to force everyone to like him. He doesn't even give a shit if it's genuine.
Right.
It's like when you're raising your kids and somebody's being fake to your kids, you say, don't worry about that fake person. Do you really want a fake person to like you? You want somebody genuine to like you. He doesn't give a shit. He doesn't have that.
No, because he's so insecure. But what really, I felt like he was giddy when he talked about Xi controlling 1.4 billion people with an iron fist. There was admiration in his voice. And when I hear him say, if we had a smart president, I always take exception to that, because I'm like, motherfucker, you're not smart. You're not even remotely smart. You are the most dumb down to the basic animalistic human level of any person I have ever seen in my life. So when you talk about a smart person being president, that disqualifies you from the jump.
Well, Andy's a wannabe.
He's a wannabe.
He's a total wannabe. He has wanted to be in the New York elite from the jump. His family and his supporters, they lie and say he built New York City.
Right.
And he changed the skyline. Lies, 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 lies. He's always been a laughingstock in New York. He filed bankruptcy multiple times. He calls journalists in the past, before he was into politics, and pretended to be an inside source to scoop information on himself.
Right.
That's how psychotic he is.
Can I remind you that one of the things that he called into the New York Post to say was that Marla Maples, his second wife, said he was the best sex she'd ever had. He called in and said that. So that tells me he's a terrible lay.
we all know he's a terrible A because we know Stormy Daniels has told us.
Right, with the mushroom penis.
Okay, here he goes in trying to discuss, I believe, marine biology. Let's listen to this clip.
How about in New Jersey, off the coast of New Jersey, they want to build. The people are going crazy not to build them. But where you have them, the whales are washing up on shore.
Right.
So in 50 years, they had one whale come ashore. Now they had like 18 come in the last year.
What is what is happening with the whales? I've read about this.
Well, they say that the wind drives them crazy. You know, it's a vibration because you have those, those things are 50-story buildings, some of them.
Right, and they're
50.
super sensitive to vibrations
They have
and
those,
sounds.
the wind is rushing, the things are blowing, it's a vibration, and it makes noise. You know what it is? I want to be a whale psychiatrist. It drives the whales frickin' crazy.
Okay. First and foremost, everybody knows you don't give a fuck about whales.
Right. You don't give a fuck about people.
Just
Why
shut
whales?
up with all of the pro-oil lobby acting like they give a fuck about rabbits, whales, birds. I've had it. Everybody knows you don't give a shit about immigrants.
Right.
We sure as hell know you don't give a shit about whales. Number two, he wants to be a whale psychiatrist.
That's high demand.
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. We have had it up to our eyeballs with this jet stream of bullshit. It makes me insane that he just goes around and people, oh, ha, yeah, that's hilarious. I mean, if I ever had him on this podcast, if he said, I want to be a whale psychiatrist, I would just look at him and go, why don't you shut the fuck up? How about that? How about the whales think you should shut the fuck up? Speaking of vibrations driving people crazy, you drive everybody fucking crazy except for your cult-like following. Everybody hates you. Everybody thinks you're unattractive.
Right.
Everybody thinks you have a small penis. Everybody thinks you're a bad dresser. Everybody thinks you have horrific makeup application. Your suits aren't tailored well. Everybody thinks you wear boosters because nobody even thinks you're 6'3". Everybody thinks your kids are sociopath. Everybody thinks your wife's a sociopath. Everybody thinks you're a terrible lay. Everybody thinks you're stupid, even your own relatives. They think you're dumb. All your old teachers think you're dumb. Everybody thinks you're poor too. You're a poor motherfucker. That's what I want to say to him.
You're a broke ass motherfucker.
All right. So Joe Rogan at one point in 2022 had some moral clarity, and here's what he had to say about Trump.
Incredible about that guy is that, I'm saying even when you watch him as president, he was full of energy.
Full of it.
Every day. And they say he slept for like 4 hours a night. He's one of those people.
He's on Adderall.
God.
Do you think he's on Adderall?
Yes, I do. Only because there were multiple people who used to work on The Apprentice that were like, he was gassed up for shoots.
Really?
Yeah, because he has trouble reading. He doesn't. He would struggle to read prompter or script when he was just let's say sober. So they would give him that, and he would dial in more on reading because he gets very bored. They said, he would get bored at the CIA briefing in the mornings. He was like, I don't want to read that. There's a daily briefing you get as president. He's like, you read it and then tell me. And if it's bored, so they would have to make it more engaging for him because he would just
I heard
tap
that they
out.
would put his name in briefings multiple times to keep him interested.
And then Kushner, his son-in-law, said that he came up with a formula to keep him engaged.
Kushner did?
Yes, because, he obviously was close to him and knew him well. And the formula was like 2 good, 1 bad. So if they were going to give him bad news, he'd go, you start with some good news. So they go, this is going well. Everybody's thrilled with you about this. Here's a bad thing. Also, people love you for this. So that's how they would tell him bad news. They couldn't just go, here's a bunch of bad news.
Of course.
Yeah.
He's a man baby.
He's a toddler. Yeah, he's a toddler.
He is a man baby.
He is so fragile. He is so ego-driven and so fragile that everybody has to walk around on eggshells for his little feelings being hurt.
What do you think about the Adderall stuff?
I've been on the Adderall stuff for a long time. And I do.
Not you personally.
No. But I mean, I've been on him
Being on
Adderall for a long time. And I believe it's true. But I also have a feeling that he's been on it so long, it's no longer working. And I think we have 2 things that we can look to for that. Number one, he cannot focus at all. And number two, he's so overweight. And I would think Adderall would help in both of those areas. So either he doesn't take it anymore or it just doesn't work anymore because he's taken it for so long. But I have read that if you're on Adderall for a number of years, that it makes your bowels less able to control, which would lend itself to him wearing a diaper, the farting in public, the bad smells that surround him. So, I mean, there is anecdotal evidence that that's going on.
Yeah, I do think that whenever the journalist, after he's dead at some point, and they dig up all of his medical records and all of this stuff, I think we're going to find that he took a lot of prescriptions. There are times where I think he seems amped up, and there are times where it seems like he's sedated.
Right.
And I think he's probably on a steady diet of amphetamines and benzodiazepines. And I think when you see a tweet, 2 a.m., caps lock, and he's going bananas, I think we're on an amphetamine.
Right.
I think in these speeches where he's slurring Azurations and all that, I think we're on a benzodiazepine. And it makes more sense that he's doing a lot of this shit under the influence of something. But I will say this, I think this man could go to rehab for 10 years and still come out of it a malignant narcissist. I don't know that he's treatable.
No, I think his mental illnesses, drugs or no drugs, are profound.
Supersede any form
Right.
of addiction that he has.
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right. We'll see you guys later.
It's so